Hello and welcome to DNQ Football. It is July, which means many things in terms of international football, and one very important thing means that it's time for the COSAFA Cup, a fantastic tournament. This is the 22nd edition. South Africa, they've won it 5 times. They're hosting it. They hosted a lot, but that doesn't take anything away from the range of teams that we see, ranked from 66, which is South Africa, all the way up to 197 in the FIFA World Rankings, where the Seychelles find themselves. A fantastic tournament. 12 teams, including the holders, Zambia, and the runners-up from last time, Namibia. An enthralling final, that one. We covered that last year and it's back again, and we love the fact that it's back. 12 teams presents an interesting challenge in terms of how you structure a tournament like this, but I quite like how they've done it. The simplest way, you could argue. You could have gone 2 groups of 6, top 2 in each go through. They've not done that. They've done it differently, which I don't mind. 3 groups of 4 teams. The winner of each goes through, and the best runner-up also progresses to the semi-finals. Winner, winner, winner. Best runner-up from across the 3 groups goes through to the semis, semi-finals, 3rd place playoff, final. From that point, it's relatively straightforward. But what's going to be quite interesting is the battle for those second places. In Group A, as we can see, we've got South Africa, Eswatini, Botswana, Namibia. A tough group, I've got to say. South Africa, whilst they are the best side on paper, they'll be looking at it well aware of what Namibia can bring. They showed last time. They've shown at AFCON that they're a really decent side. Eswatini are no pushovers. Botswana are on paper the weakest side in that group, but I do think that they'll compete and they will at least make it interesting for the other sides. A very tough group. Zambia, the holders, they're in a group with Malawi, Comoros and the Seychelles. Now, Comoros and Seychelles are the only 2 sides in the history of this tournament to not progress out of the groups and make it to at least the semi-finals of the teams competing. I think that could change this year. I think that Comoros have shown they're a really strong side. The Seychelles, I think they're the lowest ranked side. I think they'll compete with a few of them. I think they're a solid enough outfit. This is a tough group though. Zambia, very strong side. We know this. They won it last time out. Malawi, reasonably strong, kind of a middle of the road. Out of all the kind of smaller teams in this tournament, for want of a better term, Malawi are solid. They're not going to be a pushover for any side in this tournament. But Comoros have been improving. We've seen that AFCON's gone by. Recent ones, that they are a decent side. A small nation, but a nation that can definitely compete and will probably have an eye on definitely runner-up, if not winning this group, to be honest. Zambia, strong favourites, you'd say, in this group. But I think Comoros, if they get it right and target those games against Malawi and Seychelles, if you end the group on 6 points and Zambia end it on 9, you're putting yourself in a good spot to get through. And then you've got Group C, which again, which kind of shows the mix in quality, but the enjoyment that we're going to see in this tournament. Because you've got Mozambique, strong side again. Angola, very strong side. Mauritius and Lesotho. And Mauritius, of course, they've just hosted their own 4 nations friendly tournament. They competed reasonably well. They did well against Pakistan, not so well against Djibouti. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I see this as a bit of a 2-horse group with Mozambique and Angola. No disrespect to Mauritius or Lesotho, I just think the other 2 sides are better. And I think that Angola could come out on top in this group. It's very early stages. The tournament, like I say, between the 5th and the 16th, to say who I think is going to win it. I think that the group stages are going to be absolutely key. I think that each group has got 2 sides who have a fairly decent chance. South Africa and Namibia would be my picks from Group A to progress potentially. Group B, I'd be picking Zambia, Comoros. Interested to see what Malawi can do. Be interested if I'm proved wrong. Be great to see. And Mozambique, Angola as well. But what you've got there is 6 sides that I think will progress and 6 sides that I think will compete and will definitely try. I don't think there's going to be any pushover. Like if you look at Group A in particular, Eswatini, Botswana are not going to roll over for these other sides. And neither will Malawi, Seychelles in Group B or Mauritius, Lesotho in Group C. So it's going to be really hotly contested. I always feel like sometimes South Africa are the highest ranked side and they're the host, so you expect them to maybe do a little bit better than they might. Like there's some good teams in this tournament. Namibia are seasoned pros. Competing at this level. Zambia, of course, won it last time. While South Africa have the pedigree and will be expecting to go on and win this tournament, I think it could be closer than people think. I think if you weren't in the international football sphere and you didn't know anything about this tournament, you'd look at this and you'd look at the teams participating and go, oh yeah, well, South Africa are going to walk it. I'm not saying South Africa won't win it, but I think it'll be closer than a lot of people think. I love this tournament. I really do. I do think it's going to be tough for the smaller ranked nations, but this is a tournament that happens on a kind of yearly basis between these COSAFA nations. A lot of sides don't bring some of their players from abroad. They play like domestic teams. I'm not 100% sure if sides like South Africa and Angola, just two off the top of my head, that have players playing in like the European leagues, for example. I'm not sure if they'll be playing a domestic side, so if someone can let us know in the comments if it's domestic only or if they have players from outside. That'd be really good, because I think that does change it. I still think Angola are strong enough to get out of Group C if it's just a domestic team and they don't have a few players that play across Europe. But that brings it closer together, and that's what I quite like about some of these tournaments. It's the domestic team rather than the full international. That brings it a lot closer together. What's the point in one team walking this? We like the fact that it's competitive. We like the fact that these smaller nations get to give it a real go and compete. Like the final last year was Namibia, Zambia. Like that's the type of stuff that we want to see. Absolutely fantastic tournament. Can't wait for this one. What I want to know from you, what are your predictions? What are your predictions for this one? Do you think that Zambia will go on and make it back-to-back? Do you think host South Africa will kind of step up to the demands that will be on the team and lift the trophy? Or do you think we'll see a newcomer? Do you think someone like Comoros will surprise everyone and get to the latter stages? We're going to cover a fair bit of this tournament, some of the more passionate and interesting games throughout the group stages, and then semi-finals and finals as well. Really can't wait for this one. Thanks for watching, and of course, we'll see you next time.